Chapter 47. The King and the Demons. Trey knows Allegory Chronicles shatteth of fire the book born of fear. Before King James shaped scripture, before his words traveled across oceans and birthed doctrines that would last centuries, the shadows found a different gateway into him: fear. In the winter storms of 1590, when waves swallowed ships along the Scottish coast and whispers blamed witches for the wind, James, young, brilliant, anxious, felt darkness tightening around his crown. Assassins had stalked his life, regents had controlled his throne, plots had shadowed his every step. Fear became the language of his soul. The destructive image moved close. "Fear what you cannot see," it whispered, "and write what others must fear." From that whisper came Daemonologie, a book that would ignite pyres, shape courts, and merge scripture with superstition. A book that opened a new battlefield in the war between light and shadow. A North Berwick, the trial that changed a king. The North Berwick witch trials were not merely legal proceedings. They were theater for the unseen. Accusations multiplied, confessions torn from tortured throats painted witches as conspirators against the king himself. James attended personally. He interrogated suspects. He believed the devil had targeted him. The shadow fanned this belief. "Witches seek kings," it murmured. "Your throne is under siege." The king listened. His fear deepened, his resolve hardened. The trial shaped Daemonologie more than scripture ever could. A dialogue with darkness written as a Socratic debate. Daemonologie was James's attempt to define, categorize, and expose the demonic magicians, enchanters, necromancers, witches. Demon-possessed, he wrote of them all. He believed he fought darkness, he believed he served heaven, but behind his quill the pale Anunnaki presence hovered, not altering words but altering intent. If people feared the unseen, they would obey those who claimed to stand between them and the darkness. Fear reshapes nations. Fear elevates kings. Fear feeds shadow. A dialogue with darkness written as a Socratic debate. Daemonologie was James's attempt to define, categorize, and expose the demonic magicians, enchanters, necromancers, witches. Demon-possessed, he wrote of them all. He believed he fought darkness. He believed he served heaven. But behind his quill, the pale Anunnaki presence hovered, not altering words, but altering intent. If people feared the unseen, they would obey those who claimed to stand between them and the darkness. Fear reshapes nations. Fear elevates kings. Fear feeds shadow. A dialogue with darkness written as a Socratic debate. A dialogue with darkness written as a Socratic debate. Daemonologie was James's attempt to define, categorize, and expose the demonic magicians, enchanters, necromancers, witches. The demon-possessed, he wrote of them all. He believed he fought darkness. He believed he served heaven. But behind his quill, the pale Anunnaki presence hovered, not altering words, but altering intent. If people feared the unseen, they would obey those who claimed to stand between them and the darkness. Fear reshapes nations. Fear elevates kings. Fear feeds shadow. A vibe scripture weaponized. James filled his book with scripture, verses meant to warn believers against deception and occultism. But under fear's influence, those verses became swords, not shields. In Daemonologie, scripture justified interrogations, persecutions, secessional paranoia. The children of light grieved, for scripture had been meant to free the oppressed, not condemn the innocent. The children of darkness rejoiced. Once again, as in ancient rehab, they had twisted holiness into a blade. The whisper behind the witch hunts, Daemonologie spread like wildfire. It became a judicial handbook, a guide for pastors, a tool for magistrates, a manifesto of fear across the kingdoms. Neighbors accused neighbors, families were torn apart. Fire became the judge of innocence. James believed he defended Christendom. He believed he was heaven's champion, but every execution fed the shadow's hunger. Every confession obtained by pain deepened the darkness, for when fear becomes doctrine, truth becomes silent. The invisible hands of the Anunnaki. As James studied demons obsessively, cataloging their ranks, their titles, their alleged powers. The Anunnaki watch with satisfaction, know their names, the destructive image urge, record their ways. Arm yourself, so you may rule a world filled with them. But James did not see that his knowledge was a snare. Truth without wisdom is dangerous. Knowledge without discernment is poison. And Daemonologie carried both. Via the deception of the faithful, villagers read Daemonologie as if it were sacred truth. Pastors taught from it. Judges enforced it. Communities turned fearful eyes toward anyone different. The children of light began losing the ability to distinguish between scripture and the king's fear-born interpretations. Shadow had succeeded not through possession, not through spectacle, not through monstrous form, but through blending truth with terror. The faithful unknowingly were turned against themselves. Vilaid what the light saw, yet light does not surrender. Some believers questioned James's claims, some exposed fabricated witchcraft, some defended the innocent even at the cost of their own safety. Slowly, over decades, the witch hunts faded. Discernment returned, truth resurfaced, but the scars remained, and scars are seeds that shadow later waters. The stage set for the next era. Daemonologie was the prelude. The King James Bible was the climax. One book born of fear, one book born of ambition, both shaped by shadow, both influential for centuries. The children of darkness were shaping not just kingdoms, but interpretation itself. Through paranoia, through doctrine, through subtle distortion, the war moved from battlefields to books, from kingdoms to minds, from swords to scripture. And as James aged, the same shadows that whispered to him began to haunt him, for the darkness that guides kings always returns to take its due. The war deepened, prophecy advanced, and the Chronicles marched toward the next great storm.